rinsing cold water is that after the cold water streams from the pot, you might get a brick.
Okay.
When it cools down, if you don't rinse in water, you might get a brick of noodle.
Mm-hmm.
You can throw this baseball ball.
So by rinsing in the cold water, you're helping separate the strands a bit better.
Yes.
So otherwise, you end up with a huge clump, and you can be playing baseball.
You can be playing baseball with it.
Gotcha. So if you ran out of baseball, you can use it, but you're better off to eat it. Okay, cook it and eat it. Okay. Interesting. Now, the knife that he's using, is that a special kind of knife he's using to cut?
It's a special kind of knife. I believe we got it from Home Depot.
That's a good reason.
They're selling it for $4.99. Is it time for a Dao Xiao?
Would you want to do that?
Sure.
Okay.
We actually use a special kind of knife for this kind of dough. It's called a Dao Xiao. It means hand shave or hand cut. And we use a special made knife to shave off pieces from the dough. You see.
So this is the special knife that he's using. Let's see. I'm going to back up here. Okay. So you can see it's kind of curved, almost like a boomerang, and he just flicks it so easily. Now, is there a certain technique? Is it all on the wrists, or is it fingers, or what is it? Because if I did it, I'm sure would have had big clumps, but he's doing very fine shaving. See how it's flying?
Actually, it doesn't matter how. Sorry.
Yeah.
Actually, each strand of Dao Xiao is different. It's not identical, but when it comes to tasting it, chewing it, it's a bit chewy than the ramen itself, the hempo noodle.
So what's the tradition behind this? Would you happen to know that one?
Sorry?
What's the tradition behind, like, why do you do it this way? Was there a story behind this, like some legend?
There is a story on the knife.
Oh.
Shaving part of knife. Back in 100 years ago, there were one kitchen per 10 family, and they all share one knife, one cooking knife in the kitchen. And usually you would walk around 1 mile to get the knife from the kitchen. And one day there's an old man asked to borrow a knife for cooking for his own family of 10. And he went to the kitchen, and the cooking knife wasn't available. So he has to go back and tell his family that nobody's having a noodle, the handshake noodle. On his way back, he actually tripped on a piece of metal. Something similar like Chef Sun's holding, and so he brought it back with him. When he got home, the old man's wife asked, "Where's the knife? Where's the knife? Didn't you go to the kitchen and borrow it?" He said, "No, but I found this." The old man's wife said, "Can you use that to cut pieces of dough for dinner?" The old man said, "I'll try. If it doesn't work, I'll use it to chop."
Yeah.
Yes, and that's how the blade was passed down from generations and generations.
And all because he tripped on it. Isn't that amazing?
Yep.
Wow. But that's like a lot of other food invention when you think about it. How ice cream and the cone came about, right? The World Festival, and someone had ice cream, the other one had some kind of waffle, and then they said, "Wait, let's roll up the waffle." And then they said, "Oh, we got ice cream, and put it on the cone. You got ice cream cone." How's that one? Now that's always a good one, especially with the heat wave, isn't it? Now, has anyone ever tried to make the noodle with like whole wheat or anything like that, or 21 grains? Because there's a whole new madness or trend now toward having as many grains as possible, so that way you get your fiber, smiber, you know?
It is possible.
It is possible. Now, have you guys done it?
We've never done it.
Ah, there's a challenge there.
We've never done it. Maybe in the future time.
That'd be a Canadian twist?
Yes.
Here's a twist. What if you use red fife? That's a Canadian wheat. That makes it very Canadian. Do it on Canada Day. Now, that would be awesome.
It's a good idea.
Hey!
It is a good idea.
Yeah. And then you'd be the first. And you can say, I actually sort of sparked the idea, of course, right?
Or would you like to be business partners with me?
Well, I'm already running my own business, doing walking tours. My food walking tours, quite preoccupying on the weekends. I just prefer actually talking about how other people cook. I mean, I do also cook quite a bit. So, like for instance, when I'm doing my Chinatown tour, I always love it when we're in front of one of the food stalls and they're making a dumpling. For some of you who followed me from across from the tent, we were actually making dumpling early on from northern China. And I'm actually from the south, if I trace my heritage. And so we made the hagao when I was a child, right? And so when you guys measure the dough, you mentioned earlier on about, you kind of eyeball it. Now, I can relate to that because about 10 years ago, I had Marion Kane. How many of you actually read the Toronto Star? And you might remember the name Marion Kane. She was a food editor for Toronto Star, and she actually came to my house and did an interview. And we were talking about, how you cook, and she was trying to translate some of the stuff I was making. And, my mother's recipe, we don't use measured, ingredients. It's all called eyeballing, just how you make the dough, I assume, right? So part of your training would have been, I assume, in making that dough consistency. So how long did it take for you just to learn how to make the right consistency for the dough? Because that's an art. You have to sort of figure out if it's too tough or not enough flour and you need more water.
About, let's say 5 buckets a day for 3 months. I'm still not perfect on that.
Yeah.
Still learning.
And I bet that would also be influenced by the weather conditions. If it's too humid, then you have to put a little bit less water. And if it's wintertime, it's dry, then you have to add a little bit more water. So it's maddening if you're actually trying to follow a recipe and do it. Oh, sorry. Okay, so can we do the dumpling now? Do you think we can do the dumpling within 5 minutes, Chef Ken's son? Is that pressure cooking? We're almost doing our own Iron Chef here, right? Making him cook in 5 minutes.
Oh, in the store it's 1 minute.
Yeah. Yeah. So can you make the spicy pork?
It's already made.
Oh, good. Okay. You want to explain that?
Sure.
So what we have here, I'm going to let you explain what you just made. You've made already, and
we've made a spicy pork for topped with the cold noodle. Everybody can make this at home. 1 pound of ground pork, 1 cube of garlic. Chop them up. Stir fry in a pan for 10 minutes until it turns brown. And you add ginger, finely chopped ginger, about half a teaspoon, and stir fry for another 2 minutes. Once you get the garlic and ginger a little bit brown, you add soy sauce, about 2 or 3 teaspoons of soy sauce, depends on your own flavor. And after that, you add, if you want to be very spicy, you add crushed chili or chili oil. If you want it mild, just leave it alone. But we have samples here for everybody to try. If everybody is interested, and on the side we have sliced cucumbers. If you think the spicy is a bit too much, try the cucumbers with it. ease up the spice.
You buying a sample?
Thank you.
You buying a sample? Okay, you close mine.
Okay, what I'm holding in my hand is, finished product, and they've actually put a bit of a spicy sauce. You can have a choice of spicy and then really spicy, and then there's shaved cucumber with it as well. And so the sample tickets are actually $2, which is actually a pretty nice, generous portion. And so if you want to line up, you can line up over there to the right. And now, the chef Ken Sun for doing the demonstration, and assistant Mike Gu. And we actually thank the drummer. They're going to play again one more time. And before we actually have them perform, I just want to mention what will be coming up. Coming up will actually be breakdancing workshop with the Super Nuts, and that's at the Ann Tyndall Lawn at 4:30. So you get to learn how to break dance with Canada's best B-hop or B-boy crew. And then